Hey there, my fellow scientists, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Abiotic Factor, Episode 2, Building a Base that can keep the lights on. What it takes to open up this door is an energy brick. So if we open up the crafting screen and pin the energy brick, we need power supply unit, tech scrap, case fans, and circuit boards. I don't know about you guys, but I know where that stuff can be found. In computers. Now, if we want to make the energy brick, it's not just about collecting the materials. This recipe, unlike others, requires a crafting bench. So some recipes require crafting benches or other benches like the chef's bench. So the next thing we want to make is the crafting bench. So having pinned the crafting bench, one of the benefits of pinning a recipe is if we interact with the cupboards here, we can see highlighted in yellow the resources that the crafting bench requires. So the crafting bench requires 2 of these pipes and 4 of the tape. And now, with all of those combined, I can create a crafting bench. Crafting benches are furniture, so they obviously weigh a lot more. 38 of my 60 carry weight. And then the crafting bench needs to be plugged in. So I am going to place the crafting bench here and install it. And then plug it in. And having plugged it in, we have some new ideas. An idea for a makeshift battery. An idea for a makeshift backpack. An idea for a repair and salvage station. And it's worth repeating because I see confusion in the chat that you don't actually consume any of these resources. So for instance, I've never seen an anvil, so I'm not using an anvil coming up with an idea. These are just ideas, not actual construction projects. So if you fail, you don't consume resources. It consumes no resources no matter what. I'm a rock. Thank you for the cheer. And Big Brody for the resub, like long ago that I somehow missed. So let's clear that, and we need the energy brick. So the energy brick, the only resource I don't have on me is tech scrap. Grab one of the tech scrap and make ourselves an energy brick. Done. I am going to choose to put the rest of the resources away so that I have nice empty pockets ready to go. I also chose not to carry around the carbuncle, which is slightly radioactive. Oh, medicine. Perfect. So I have got a healing syringe, and we just came up with a new idea for healing syringes. So a healing syringe is bio scrap, a test tube, and wheat. Nice. Alien wheat. I see you.
Any colder and I'll be homeostatic.
So, on the bottom left, we have our HP if we have specifically injured body parts, and then also body temperature. So I am cold. I'm standing in a freezer right now. So staying in here is going to cause hypothermia long term. But leaving this freezer will be fine. I'm also going to eat ice cream because we just picked it up, and the ice cream is giving us brain freeze. Better to tolerate warm temperatures for a while. And then also, because we're close to our... What was that? Because we're close to our crafting bench, we also have the home sweet home. Your crafting bench is like a home, if you will. Sitting on the couch gives us an idea for a makeshift bed. So, couch, table legs, and cloth. No, couch, boards, and cloth. There we go. Does idea research parts change the end recipe for doing the item later? It's always the same. It's static. All right,
you need to open the door now.
Okay. Well, that didn't end well for him. I'm gonna bandage myself up before engaging again. And let's use the healing syringe, because I'm relatively wounded now. And it's down. Well, thank you for the pork chop and the drumstick. To the victor goes the spoils. And I think my gate journal probably has some information about those entities. So here's the entity, the carbuncle. Said to be isolated by a perimeter cordon with a radius of 12 feet or greater at all times. No personnel may approach within 10 feet unless wearing full face and body protective, conforming to the GISP bioprotective standards at all times. Someone in this facility may know more about this topic. And then this is pest. So we interact with the pest. Those are the ones we've been netting. Minimum of 8 feet of barrier, unless subject is sedated or dead. Acoustic baffling is suggested for all containment environments, and loud noises or use of power equipment is strongly discouraged. Feed remotely, and this entity is weak to blunt damage. Oh, and that sizzle means our food is done. So, the peccary chop. Very mild radiation when ingested, but because we cooked it, we've negated most of its negative effects. And being well fed and not thirsty, or well satiated in terms of liquid, gives you a healing bonus. So let's go ahead and trigger that. Running to the bathroom, drinking the sink water. Oh, I am not alone in here, so let's make... I don't have any cloth for nets. Food does burn and does decay. Yes, both those things can happen. This drumstick, because it's like really thick, takes a while to cook, if you're wondering. So the other things I've picked up, iodine pills, which helps cure some radiation and reduces incoming radiation. So if we had radiation poisoning from being around or eating alien meat or being around aliens for too long, we could use that to our advantage. I'm just waiting for this to cook up. And then, what else? Some of our body parts are a little wounded, but I'm not too worried about that. They'll heal over time. We've already leveled up Blunt a little bit, which is great. Oh, there we go. Om nom. And now we won't be hungry for a while. I will take another... Let's take a sip from the bathroom. And I hear something else in the bathroom, plus there's meds here. Rude. Get scrapped, losers. Well, I don't really need to poop, but might as well. Let's put away some of the stuff we don't immediately need. And maybe it would be a good idea to make a plastic shield. because we have been getting jumped by a lot of stuff. So if we sort of all items of this type, you can just automatically put away things that you don't want to be carrying, which is really convenient. And let's put away the tech scrap too. So now we have a plastic shield that we can equip. And in the left here, you have the total level of protection from equipped armor. And they only protect the limbs that are being covered by it. So in this case, I have gloves, which protects my arms a little bit. But the plastic shield allows me to block. So that's the advantage there. T as in Tango gives you your watch. So it is 7 in the morning. And the current goal is to report to the sector security officer. Oh, we also just got the compendium for the peccary. So that would be this guy, peccary. Containment protocols. Any containment space for IS-0178, a specimen must measure no more than 3 by 3 meters in space, ensuring the subject is unable to attain velocity greater than 5 meters per second. All walls and flooring should be reinforced and electric grounded. They are weak against blunt damage, and there's more information to be unlocked about them later.
Attention. Enhanced security protocols are now in effect. Please locate...
Damn this facility. The power sockets are on a timer. I was working on mass dampers and the place shut down. You know, those have to warm up for hours. Now I have to start all over again. Just keep an eye out on your wristwatch. Don't start a task you can't finish before the facility power goes out. Why the hell were you working at midnight anyway? Get some rest. We can't afford to make mistakes.
Come here, mate. Look, I don't know what's going on. They don't tell me squat on a good day, and this isn't a good day. But if the big voice says get out, I'd do what she says. Elevators are dead, so head for the main tunnel in manufacturing on level 2. There's maps over there. But me, I'm staying right here.
Okay, so he mentioned maps. So this is the current sector that I'm on. I am right here next to a charging station, which allows me to put items that need charged batteries, like a flashlight down. It will charge them up, and then it will play that little music when it's fully charged. So we have the security kiosk there. We came, this is like the kitchen area. And this is where we put our... Or actually, that's not the kitchen area. This is the kitchen area. And this is where we put our crafting table. This is the cafeteria and the bathrooms we were just in. We entered from this door up here. And then this is the room here that we haven't really discovered. But you can pick up this map to add the map to your journal. So now, if I click on the office sector here, we have the map here as information. Ooh, I didn't mean to drink that. So I have a poll above my head about what to do next, and you guys can decide that. Ooh, found oil for the first time, and that gives us a new idea, or a chopinator. So we know it probably involves oil, power, metal, and pipes. Correct. A deployable fan with spinning blades, extremely dangerous when powered on. And then also a platform cart. And in this case, the potential recipe items and the correct ingredients from above were 1 and 1, so there was no way to get that wrong. Alright, you guys want it to be my choice, it seems. That seems to be the popular option. So, let's go ahead and make this a bit of our home, shall we? Because we know that we're going to lose power overnight. It is 8:30 in the morning. So the current priority right now for me is going to be build a base that keeps the power on at night. So thinking about that, that would include making some batteries, which then means making some energy bricks. And if we need energy bricks, that means I need to break down some additional computers. So we need to find some computers to bust up and take the parts from so that I can keep the power on at night. Because I don't have any more power supply units. I'm out. The other thing that might be useful right now is to make the makeshift backpack so that we can store a little bit more stuff with us. And then also potentially the cushion chest plate so we're slightly better armored. And maybe even the carbuncle crown so that the carbuncle can't, like, grab us. So we have a bunch of different recipes to work on here. So I'll do the makeshift backpack first. Do items respawn or can you get stuck having not a specific resource? You generally won't get stuck. I don't really see a way that you would ever get stuck without saying more about that. Alright, so we made the backpack. Let's do the cushion chest plate. So I'm going to unpin all recipes and work it one at a time so that it's a little bit more easy. So the cushion chest plate needs 3 of these. 3 cloth. Get that gone. A lot of the questions, I'm giving vague answers because answering them fully would mean big spoilers, and I'm not spoiling anything. So if it seems like I'm being coy, I probably am. And if I feel like you need to know something, I'll let you know. But in this case, like, you don't need to know. Like, I'm just... What I can say in this case, without spoiling anything, is you're not going to run out of resources. You'll be fine. There might be some strategic resources that are rarer, but you should never really run out. Unless you're playing multiplayer and some other player is, like, wasting them or something. Alright, we also wanted to make the carbuncle crown. Because I don't need my chef's hat on. And this thing is, rotting anyway. That green bar there is its rot meter. I don't know if I have enough plastic scrap for the carbuncle crown, though. Oh, no, I do. And we have crafting level 1. So I look rather ridiculous now. But, you know, this is the life of a scientist. Okay, so the current priority right now, let me update, will be... well, I guess it really hasn't changed. But we are slightly better equipped than we were a moment ago. I probably don't need to bring a pan around with me. But I'm also running out of space for stuff. So we also might want to amass some plastic and wood in order to make more storage. Alternatively, I can just right-click and drop items on the ground here. They're not going anywhere, or even use, like, trash bins, which don't have a lot of storage. But, alright, let's proceed. So we are looking for computers to smash up. So looking around, actually, one way that might be helpful is to level 2 in laboratories, which would be over there. So if level 2 is laboratories, that sounds a good place to maybe find some computers. And this is now the office sector. So locations, we've got the office sector, which is the administration and management areas. Pens and binders.
Dr. Derek Mance reporting, Research Director, Gate Cascade Research Facility. Originating in Antiverse 2, IS-171 is a stationary, sessile entity that traps its food with a retractable tentacle. The experience of being caught is rather like being attacked by an angry pizza. It presents no real threat, but leaves an enduring, not entirely unpleasant smell on anything it touches. Suggestions for possible applications include perfume, industrial scents, and olfactory-based crowd control weapons.
So that was the carbuncle he was talking about. In this case, if I successfully pack up anything, I can repack it without failure because we've packed it once. But I'm just breaking things down for their resources. You know, no one's going to care. Rubber ball. And we just, the rubber ball gave us an idea for a chest plate. So, wow, I got all of the, everything wrong? Are you, ouch. Okay, maybe that. There we go, a makeshift chest plate. So actually the makeshift chest plate was triggered from interacting with the filing cabinet, not the metal ball. I had that wrong. Can you ride the chair? Yes, you can ride chairs. And actually there's a bit of a reason to do it. Riding chairs, if you break your leg or something like that, you can ride an office chair to move more freely with broken leg. I mean, let's not break our legs, ideally. But if we have to. I'm also getting tired. And it is almost noon, so I might want to take a little cat nap. But before I do that, let's pack these things up, because they're awfully in the way. And put our water cooler that we just took here. I'm not especially thirsty, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll close the security shutters. And I did grab some plastic scrap on my last run. So that might be a good idea to build some storage. I did not manage to scrap a filing cabinet, though. Alright. So, this room here is in the center of this, like, security checkpoint. So I'm going to make this my storage area. And I'm not going to bother organizing anything just yet. I think I need more storage to bother trying to organize things. Because I'm going to want, you know, a box for electronics, a box for building materials, a box for, you know, and one of each. And eventually we'll get there, but we're not quite there yet. I will take this desk lamp, though. Okay, I have almost put everything away, and we're off to find office equipment again. So the little hologram that just spoke to us offered more information about the carbuncle. So originating in Antiverse 2, it's stationary, and it is highly aggressive, but it really is not much of a threat. The threat, of course, would be if it, like, suction cupped you and prevented you from escaping from a much more dangerous foe. I think that goes without saying. Stapler. And that gives me an idea for a makeshift crossbow. An armor stand, a cooking pot. Let's actually go through the ones that I have not yet interacted with. Makeshift bolts. and makeshift cooking pot and frying pan. Office supply crossbows. This is a notice to all Cascade technical staff. We have received some complaints from team members about misuse of office supplies, up to and including creating improvised weapons for flinging projectiles across the cubicles. Here at Gate, understand that we commend your ingenuity as scientists after all. It's why you work here. But if you continue to working on in this department, knock it off. And a picture of a makeshift crossbow that Richard Moyer wrote this email. I've mentioned this before, but your security bots are a menace. They don't seem to distinguish employees at all. And whose idea was it to get them to restock the soda machines? I understand the goal, but there's a ton of valuable equipment in those things, which would be a lot more useful elsewhere. Moira, why are you telling me this? I am not in charge of security or procurement. If you're serious, try Anderson. He'd okay the Winkman project, and I have never had any problems with the bots. I stay out of the halls when we shut down for the night if you're supposed to. Let them do their job. We're making valuable strides here. So apparently these robots do not differentiate friend from foe, so that sounds dangerous. And then the last one is anvils. What happened to the anvils in our workshop? I needed to repair some of my tools, but it's gone. Sorry, that was us. Check the supply closet on level 3 by the silo. Level 3 by the silo, copy that. We're doing some heavy repairs up here, and we need a solid working surfaces. That explains the noise complaints. All right. And picking up a desk phone gave us an idea for a fishing rod and cloth recipe. So fishing rod and cloth rope. All right, I'm still looking for... Oh, hello.
I thought they were coming to help, but they weren't gatekeepers. They started shooting. I wasn't trained for this. I'm just a receptionist. I heard their radios, something about level 3. I'd stay away if I were you. Hide somewhere. But not here, all right? Close the door.
Okay, well, we've got one of the peccaries out there. They're a pretty nasty foe. Ooh, but I see computers. Picking up the coil gave us an idea for a shock trap, a plug strip, and a heater. And information, idea for a lever, a portable stove, and a makeshift flashlight. Also, we just picked up a filing cabinet. I'm going to ditch my glass for the filing cabinet. And this is a perfect time to tell you about how to level strength effectively, which is to be encumbered, but not super encumbered. So if you take a look at the top left here, you can see my my strength XP going up, and that's because I'm relatively encumbered, but not so crippling. If you become way past your, like, weight allowance, which is up here, I know my overlay is slightly covering it, but up here, if you max it out, you won't get strength XP, but as long as you're near the limit, but just past the yellow, you start to get strength XP. So it's a really good way to level up your strength if you want to play more meta. All right. One thing I'd like to have is the makeshift chest plate. So I'm going to pin that, now that I have a filing cabinet, to make it. And we need 8 cloth. I don't know if I have the cloth, though. Oh, I do. Perfect. This is a set piece, so wearing 2 of the set gives me Employee of the Week. You're beginning to carry your team's burden. Weight increase capacity by 10, and the full set weight capacity by 30. So it would be a good idea for me to start interacting with materials to unlock the concept of the other makeshift pieces. So we should be on the lookout for that. All right, again, I'm not really organizing anything yet. And I don't believe we have enough material for, well, let's see if we can make a battery now. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's invent a lever. Which is a mechanical lever that can toggle power. The concept of a plug strip. So that, you know, you can plug more than one thing in. The concept of a heater. Shield, thank you for the resub. The concept of a portable stove. Which, where I live now, is maybe not a big deal, because I live next to a stove, but eventually that might not be true, if I do end up moving. Then also a shock trap. And a walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkies aren't going to be particularly useful for me, because I'm playing single player, but if I wasn't, it allows you to communicate with other holders of the walkie-talkie. With that in mind, if you hold B and you go to your pager reveals your location to other scientists around. So if you're playing with other people, you can sort of let out a pager ping, and it will let everyone else around you know, hey, I'm here, I'm here. All right, let's see about making that energy brick now. So go to the energy brick and make an energy brick. So we have enough for one energy brick. And then the energy brick leads us to make the makeshift battery. So that needs a coil and 2 scrap metal. And the way this works is you deploy a battery, you plug the power into the battery, and then the battery will charge up during daylight hours, and then discharge during night hours, trying to keep things on. With that in mind, minor spoiler, but not a big one, one battery is not going to be enough to keep the lights on at night. We're going to need batteries in sequence. I'm also getting a little hungry and quite tired. What time is it? 5? Okay, I'm not going to nap because it's going to be nighttime soon. So let's try to get one more battery before nightfall. Looking for computers. So we know that there's a peccary over that way that we probably want to avoid. And then this is office sector level 2. So we are... Where's the we are here? That's odd, but we probably want to be going towards the data farm. We're at reception, so it's like past the peccary and to the right, which is easier said than done. Oh, another carbuncle. So this carbuncle, because I'm wearing the carbuncle crown, can't actually grab me. Well, these computers will work. Perfect. Let's take a standing lamp, and that gives us the idea for a makeshift spear, which sounds a lot more effective than our, like, table leg that we're using. And then something in here gave us, oh, maybe the Giga Glue gave us the idea for a pipe club and throwing darts. So you can see I'm really taking everything that's not nailed down. Ooh, books. Books are nice to have. My table leg is
Could use a short nap.
table leg's about to break. And the other thing I want to do is try to take one of these office desks. So my table leg being about to break. Oops, I didn't mean to repair it with the duct tape. I want to drop it on the ground. Take the new one. Come on. Pack one of these up. There we go. Making room for that, let's drop the paper scrap. And the idea behind picking this thing up is so that I can be encumbered leveling up my strength as we run about. All right, let's head back. And take a bit of a nap. I'm gonna have you guys vote on next priority if you want to make your preferences known. Thank you for tuning in to Abiotic Factor, which originally streamed live as a marathon on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I won't be answering anything that would be considered a spoiler. I am also not looking for feedback. This streamed one time only as a marathon. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow scientists, security guards, and summer interns.